Hello and welcome to the online classes of computer science with Python. This is Renuka, and today we are going to discuss some more facts about networking, data communication technology, switching techniques, network security, introduction to web services, and all this we will start with the evolution of networking. So evolution of networking, how the networking started, what was the first network? The very first network was ARPANET. The full form is Advanced Research Project Agency Network. So this was the very first network which was developed by US Defense of Department of Defense for exchanging the information between academic and research institutes. But later on, it was a success, and many more organizations joined ARPANET, and gradually, it from a small network, it took the form of a huge network. Then, email in 1971, the symbol at the rate was added with network. Internet, this term was coined in 1974. Then TCP/IP protocol started to be used in 1982. So TCP/IP protocol, as we have discussed in our protocols session also, video also, that this protocol is very useful for transmission and receiving of data from a sender to receiver in a node, in a network. Then comes domain name system, started in 1983. So in 1983, domain name system was started. It was created to use some simple names rather than using traditional addresses. So in spite of using the IP addresses, the simple names for websites or for portals were used, and that was known as domain name system, started in 1983. Then comes NSF/NET. NSF/NET, also known as National Science Foundation Network. In 1986 it started for connecting more and more people to a network. It was also for basically for research and education purpose in United States. Then 1990, the term WWW was coined, and it is a huge term, as you all know nowadays. So start World Wide Web. Then Wi-Fi wireless fidelity started in 1997, and it introduced the concept of high-speed wireless network. After this history, the next term is data communication terminology. So here we are going to discuss various terms related to data communication. First is node, also known as host or workstation. In a network, each computer is known as a node or workstation, and sometimes it is also known as client. Then server. Server is a computer which contain whole information and helps to serve the request of clients. So that is server. So a node which contain complete information and serves the request of various clients is known as server. Network hardware. Various network hardware like interface card, modem, hub, switch, router, repeater, all these are needed in a network. Network interface card or network interface unit. It is having, every computer is having a built-in network interface card, or either we can install it externally. So this is very much important to start internet in your computer. In laptops, in mobiles, this NIC is inbuilt. And various connecting devices like hub, switch, router, repeater are also necessary. In communication channel, what is communication channel? It is a way of connecting network hardware with each other. So communication channel means type of cables, Ethernet cable, twisted pair cables, or fiber optics, or wireless communication also. So communication channel means how we transmit data on various devices in a network. So details about our communication channel we have discussed in our third video of networking. Then bandwidth. Bandwidth refers to the range of frequency used in network data transmission. We mostly, you must have heard that the bandwidth of this type of network is low, bandwidth of Idea is good, or bandwidth of Airtel is good. So bandwidth refers to the range of frequencies. So how much broad range of frequencies a network is covering, that is known as bandwidth. And to measure bandwidth, uh, the units are hertz, kilohertz, megahertz. In data transfer rate, what is the quality of network that depends upon the data transfer rate, means amount of data transmitted per second from one device to another. So that's why its unit is bytes per second, kilobytes per second, megabytes per second, gigabytes per second, or terabyte per second. So the number of bytes which can be transmitted per second from one device to another, that is known as data transfer rate. The good amount of data is transmitted per second, so that much good is the data transfer rate of that network. Then switching techniques. So how the data is being transmitted from one device to another device. So various techniques are followed by a network. So these techniques, there are three types of techniques: circuit technique, message technique, or packet technique. Circuit technique, like in this technique, the sender and the receiver, a connection is established between the two computers, the sender and receiver, and a call is placed, and then a connection is maintained with the help of copper wire, and then the sender can transmit the data to receiver, and after the transmission of data, the connection is closed. So in three steps circuit switching works. First is connection between uh, sender and receiver. Second, data is transmitted through that connection. And third, and the last step is termination of connection. The connection is closed. So that is known as circuit switching. In circuit switching, unless the data is completely transmitted, the sender and receiver will be shown busy. Then message switching. In message switching, the source will send the data to the switching circuit, where it will store the data in a buffer, and then after making a link or after finding a free link, it will transmit the data to the destination. So it's not necessary that sender will send the data directly to the destination. It will transmit the data to some buffer, and then after collecting whole data in the buffer, it will transmit the data to the destination computer. So it is also known as store and forward approach. First it will store the data in buffer, and then it will forward to the destination. So in this type of switching technique, no dedicated connection is required. Means no direct connection between sender and receiver is required. Suppose receiver is busy somewhere, then sender can store the data in the buffer, and whenever the receiver will be free, the line will be free, the data will be forwarded to the receiver. Then packet switching, as we have discussed in TCP/IP protocol also, that in packet switching the data is transmitted in the form of small broken packets, small pieces known as packets. So these packets are transmitted to the destination computer, and at destination computer, these data packets are received and merged to form an original message. And this merging is done in a proper order. In the sequence, the packets are sent from the sender computer, so that they receive the original message. जिस तरह से रिसीवर ने सेंड किया है, उसी तरह से डेस्टिनेशन कंप्यूटर पे जिस तरह से सेंडर ने सेंड किया है, रिसीवर उसी ऑर्डर में पैकेट्स को अरेंज करता है, ताकि जो ओरिजिनल मैसेज है वो इंटैक्ट रहे, वो चेंज ना हो. So that is packet switching. Then comes network security. What is the need for network security, or what do you mean by network security? Basically, network security refers to the provisions and policies adopted by the network administrator so that the data can be prevented and no unauthorized access or misuse of data or network can be there. So to protect the data, to protect the resources, we follow some provisions and policies, and they come under network security. So, and what is the need for network security? Because internet is a huge network, and to make our data reliable so that it can easily be transmitted without any changes, security is needed. So many breaches are there, like many dangers are there in a network. First is denial of services. Denial of services means if you are an authorized user but the network or the computer is saying you that you cannot access the service. Suppose you are an authorized user and your computer in a network is saying that you cannot access a printer, but you are authorized user. In that case, means it is showing you denial of services. There can be various reasons for denial of services, maybe some virus, maybe, or maybe controlled by some unauthorized person. So that is known as denial of services. मीन्स जब आप वैलिड यूज़र हैं, ऑथराइज यूज़र हैं और आपको वो सर्विसेज अवेलेबल नहीं हो रही हैं, आपको डिनाइल मिल रहा है, सो दैट इज़ नोन एज डिनाइल ऑफ सर्विसेज. ट्रोजन मीन्स इट इज़ अ सेल्फ नॉन सेल्फ रेप्लिकेटिंग टाइप ऑफ मालवेयर. जिस तरह से हमारे पास वॉर्म्स होते हैं जो खुद को रेप्लिकेट करते हैं और सिस्टम को नुकसान पहुंचाते हैं, उस तरह से ट्रोजन नहीं होते. ट्रोजन्स आर नॉन सेल्फ रेप्लिकेटिंग मालवेयर, but instead of damaging the system they appear to be very useful. When they enter to your system they appear to be very useful, but actually they cause damage to your system. They facilitate unauthorized access to user computer and start using their space, or they, steal information or harm the host computer. In this way they cause damage to the system. So various trojans are beast, sub 7.0, zero access rootkit, and many more. Then intrusion problem refers to the malicious activity. Malicious means those activities which cause damage to your system or they violate the rules or security of your system. They are known as intrusion problems. Intrusion detection system, it is a device or software application that monitors your network for the malicious activities, and as soon as the malicious activities enter your system they warn you that there is some problem. Snooping refers to unauthorized opening of the files or accessing data or emails. Means without the permission of the user, if a unauthorized person is opening the files or accessing mails, that is known as snooping. Eavesdropping is identical to snooping. Here also an unauthorized user is accessing your information or checking emails, but this is intentional. स्नूपिंग कैन बी अनइंटेंशनल, मतलब बिना जाने अगर आपको बात सुन जाती है. ईव्स ड्रॉपिंग इज इंटेंशनल, जानबूझ के किया जाता है ये काम. देन कम्स ऑथराइजेशन. ऑथराइजेशन मीन्स that if confirms the service requester credentials, it determines if the service requester is entitled to perform that operation. So authorization means कि आपने किसी को permission दी है, अगर वो authorized user है आपका डाटा यूज़ करने के लिए, then that is known as authorization. Authentication, जिसे आपने परमिशन दी है, जिसे आपने ऑथराइज यूज़र बनाया है, क्या वो एक्चुअल में वही यूज़र है, एंड दिस कैन बी वेरीफाइड विद द हेल्प ऑफ पासवर्ड्स. मीन्स द पर्सन हु इज़ ऑथराइज्ड इज़ व्हाट इट एक्चुअली क्लेम्स टू बी. Encryption means converting the data into coded form so that no unknown person or unauthorized person can access the data. Biometric system means involves unique aspect of person's body such as fingerprints or retina. These can be used to make your data secure. So these are a type of passwords. Firewall, it is a system designed to prevent unauthorized access If you want to protect your system from unauthorized users, you can install firewall in your system. It is a combination of hardware and software. Then cookies, these are the messages that are present. These are a type of files which are present in your system and which contains the important information of your system. आप जब browsing करते हो तो आपकी जितनी भी information है, like your passwords, like your browsing habits, like your bank accounts or your credentials, whatever you are inputting, entering in a website, so all that information are recorded in a file, and that file is known as cookies. So cookies are kept in your system. So whenever a malware or a virus or a hacker attack your system, it first search for cookies. If cookies are available, so those files are very useful for hackers also. What are hackers? Who are hackers and crackers? The slight difference are there. Both enter your system unknown without your permission, but hackers are more interested in gaining knowledge. They are not interested in damaging your system, but they enter your system without your permission to gain more knowledge or to gain more information about your website or institute or something. Whereas crackers are the programmers who break into your security system just to cause damage. Then comes cyber laws. Cyber laws are also known as cyber crime laws and is a legislation focused on the acceptable behavior use of technology, including computer hardware and software, the internet and the networks. They provide the laws, means they cyber laws help to protect users from harm. So if a user is not following the cyber law, so and data causing a damage to others data, so that comes under criminal activity. Cyber crime, also known as computer crime, the use of a computer as an instrument to further illegal ends such as committing fraud, trafficking. So all these type of crimes, if a person is doing online, that comes under the category of cyber crime. Information Technology Act is an act of Indian Parliament notified on 17th October 2000, and it is primary law in India dealing with the cybercrime and electronic commerce. Intellectual property rights are the rights given to persons over the creations of their minds. You can preserve online your creations, whether it be your website or your poetry or your some write-up, that you can be preserved under IPR law. Then various web services. Web browser. What is web browser? It is a client that navigates through the World Wide Web. If you want to surf or open various websites or web pages, you cannot open without the help of a web browser. Various examples are internet or Google Chrome, Firefox, websites. The whole information on our internet is stored in the form of website or web pages. So web pages, collection of web pages form a website, and each website has a unique address known as URL. Home page. The very first page of a website is known as home page. Web portal that facilitates various types of functionality as website. So complete portal like www.yahoo.com, www.rediff.com. Domain name. Domain name, an internet address which is a character based, is known as domain name. So if we say .com, all the commercial sites or all the commercial portals come under .com. Educational, edu, government, gov, for example AU for Australia, and CAN for Canada, IN for India. So all these are domain names, so that you can categorize the various websites. URL. Every website has a specific URL that is known as Uniform Resource Locator, and it has two parts: domain and complete address. So it starts with http encycle.msn.com and then the index part. So four parts are there: http, then name, then index, and then subindex. Then web hosting. When a hosting provider allocates space on a web server for a website to store its files, that is known as hosting a website. So जब होस्टिंग प्रोवाइडर स्पेस देता है और वेबसाइट को आप लॉन्च करते हैं सो दैट इट इज़ अवेलेबल ऑनलाइन एंड everyone can see that website, so that is known as web hosting. HTML, it is a special type of language which is used to design the web pages. In this language there are commands which are in the form of tags like body tag, HTML tag. XML, it is also a type of web designing language known as extensible markup language. The difference is here the tags are predefined in HTML, but in XML user can define their own tags. DHTML is for dynamic web designing. In this DHTML, user can design web pages or websites which are dynamic, means which changes with time. They are not static websites which can be changed with time. Then like news, like temperature and weather forecasts, these type of sites are part of DHTML. Web scripting, the process of creating an embedding script in a web page is known as web scripting. And what a script is, it is a list of commands embedded in a web page. Two types of scripts are there, client side and server side. Which run on client computer are known as client side and interact with the web page. Server side, which are running on server side scripting enables the completion or carrying of a task at the server end and then sending the result back to the client. So that is server side scripting, and both scripting work together to serve the request of a client. Thank you very much. This was all for networking.